Tracy Matthews here. I am super excited. I'm the Chief Visionary Officer over at Flourish and Thrive Academy. I'm the woman wearing that white shirt in this picture of two people. The other person in the picture is my co-founder, Robin Kramer. She's not going to be on the call today, but I am really excited to present to you how to create an unforgettable jewelry brand in just 8 weeks. And today I'm going to walk you through the fast and simple blueprint to attract the right clients, double your sales, and work less this year. As I mentioned before, if you're just showing up, I'm here with Jessica Bauer, our community leader over at Flourish and Thrive. Jess, you want to say hello?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody. It's really nice to meet you all today, and I'm excited to spend this time together.
Amazing. So Jess is going to be behind the scenes, sort of helping me with the masterclass, and she's going to be also, so you might hear her popping in every now and then, which is kind of normal. And we want you to keep this really interactive in the comments coming in. So if you have an observation, an aha moment, anything comes up while we're on this masterclass, in the questions box, just type it in because we'd love to hear from you. We're going to ask you some questions to keep this really interactive, and your participation is key in order to make this experience amazing for you and for all of us here. So I wanted to welcome you all, and I wanted to, for those of you who are new to Flourish and Thrive Academy, once again, I'm Tracy. I'm the woman wearing, Tracy Matthews, the woman wearing the white shirt. I've been working in the industry, the jewelry industry, for over 20 years as a designer and a maker with my own independent jewelry brands. My lovely co-founder, Robin, is that woman in the pink dress here. She's not here today, but a lot of her brilliance is infused in this masterclass, so we're excited to get started. She's also been in the jewelry industry for a very long time, about 25 years, a little bit longer than me. And her background is in retail branding and at the corporate level, and then later in sales for niche brands. So she's really a master at those sorts of things. And we're really excited here to talk about how to create an unforgettable jewelry brand. But before we get started, oops, there we go. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you that we'd like to ask you to try to eliminate all distractions. You're going to get the most out of this masterclass if you stay present and fully focused on what I'm teaching here. So make sure that you turn off your email, make sure that you toss your cell phone out the window maybe. I'm just kidding, but maybe, I'm not that kidding. Close your website browsers for now, and I really would love to ask for your undivided attention. So this training is going to be jam-packed with incredible information, and we want you to absorb really as much as possible to make sure that you are getting the most out of this. And don't worry, you're going to be back to the outside world soon. We're going to keep this to about 45 minutes to an hour. We get questions sometimes, so sometimes it lasts a little bit longer than 45 minutes. We're going to take a lot of questions at the end, so if you have questions, please ask them because we will be answering them. And make sure that you've grabbed your unforgettable jewelry brand blueprint because that is really going to help you through this masterclass. You may have received it in the email, but you can also grab it in the downloads right now. And you're going to want to make sure that you stay till the end because we have this really great bonus for you that we're going to drop to you at the end called the Desired Sharing Proposition Roadmap. It is literally a visual representation. Only you who are here live will get this. It's a great visual representation of everything that I'm going to be teaching you in this masterclass. You can frame it if you'd like and keep it on your wall so you can remember what you learned and reference it nonstop. All right, so I'm really excited to get started. I think we should dive right in, don't you think so?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Before we do, right, Jess?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. So before we dive into the fast and simple blueprint to attract the right clients, double your sales, and work less here, I wanted to ask you a question because I wanted to take a quick moment to reflect on why you came to this masterclass today. Since you're here, I am guessing that you might be looking for some extra help, maybe growing your jewelry business, or maybe you're looking for some additional support, or maybe you're trying to increase your sales or get more exposure for your jewelry brand. Does any of that sound familiar? Give me a yes. Give me a yes if it does. The chances are your struggles go a lot deeper than that. So I wanted to ask you if any of this sounds like you. Maybe you feel like you're scraping by at an unfulfilling day job, building someone else's dream, or maybe you get a lot of compliments on your jewelry, but you just don't know how to convert those compliments into sales. I know that that's something that we hear a lot from the designers over at who are just joining us for the first time at Flourish and Thrive. Maybe you're frustrated about all the time you spend marketing because you aren't getting enough sales or exposure. I know it's frustrating when you're putting stuff out there and you're not getting a reaction. Or maybe it's just that you're overwhelmed with everything that you have to do to actually grow a jewelry business. And sometimes you're wondering if it's really worth it. Does any of this resonate with you guys? Or quite possibly, maybe you're only getting trickles of traffic to your website or Etsy shop, and you're feeling like it's really hard to stand out because there's so many designers to choose from. Yeah, I totally get that. But imagine if these challenges started to vanish away. And imagine a world where your business was just, you know, kind of in alignment with what you wanted. And your business took off so much that you could finally quit that soul-sucking day job to follow your passion. Or you could easily turn, when someone compliments you on your jewelry, into sales, and turn your customers into your biggest sales reps and media channels. Or you felt like you could effortlessly attract and leverage the right types of exposure to keep sales rolling in nonstop. What if you could drastically increase your profits by discovering how to set your business up the right way? How awesome would that be? Or maybe you get to a place where you've completely discovered your brand voice. This is a big one. And consistent sales roll in from your website and Etsy shop. You wake up to an inbox full of orders. Wouldn't that be awesome? So if any of this resonates with you at all, and I'd really like to know, I would just want to let you know that you're in the right place. Because we've built our dream lives over here at Flourish and Thrive, me and Robin and many of the designers in our community, by following our passions. And we want to show you how we've helped thousands of other jewelry designers and makers build successful jewelry businesses selling their jewelry and making a living off of it full-time and even part-time. This is truly our mission over here at Flourish and Thrive. And I want, you know, I'm really passionate about this, and I might start crying during this masterclass. I usually do, because it's really like, I come from an emotional place when I'm teaching these things, because I'm really passionate about helping you follow your passion and build your dream business, because it is really important to get our jewelry out into the world. As I mentioned before, we have this special bonus for you at the end, so stay till the end and don't go anywhere. It's a visualization of everything that we're going to teach here, and you're definitely going to want to grab it. So today you are going to discover the fast and simple blueprint to attract the right clients, double your sales, and work less this year. So I promise we're going to show you strategies for amplifying your brand's desirability, which will make attracting consistent sales super easy. Give me a heck yes if you want to make sales super easy and start attracting them nonstop. I'd like to know. Jess, you can just give me a little shout out if people are answering that.
Yes, tons of heck yeses coming in and tons of yeses coming in when you're talking about stuff before. It's amazing.
I love it. Okay, so by the way, by the time we're done, you're going to feel confident that you can stand out in a sea of jewelry designers, I promise. And we want to really help you create an unforgettable brand by doing this, or to do this. So we're going to dive right into the content momentarily, but I wanted to, you might be wondering what qualifies me to teach you this, and maybe sort of what's going on with this woman, Robin, here. So I'd like to tell you a little bit more about us. So I co-founded Flourish and Thrive Academy with my co-founder, Robin Kramer. Robin is a sales and relationship expert, and she worked for some really amazing brands, including Williams-Sonoma and Crate and Barrel, and later for a brand called Dog-Eared Jewels and Gifts. And she became their co-founder, and she is really passionate, or actually she did not become their co-founder, she became my co-founder. But once she started working with Dog-Eared, she was able to grow their business by over 800% by using her sales and relationship techniques. And she's really a master at this. She loves working with niche brands, and she shares her expertise. It's infused throughout this entire training. We met at a trade show in 2006, and we became fast friends. And that's why we decided to co-found Flourish and Thrive together, because she really has a brilliance of knowledge. She's an expert at sales, and she knows how to make sales really easy by coming from a place of service. And we're going to teach you some of that stuff today. And here's a little bit more about me. So I've been in the jewelry industry for a very long time. I started my first business actually in the early 90s as a side hustle, but I went full-time with Tracy Matthews Designs in 1998. My focus back then was actually selling to retail stores, boutiques, and specialty stores around the world. The internet didn't really exist back then. There wasn't e-commerce, so selling to stores was how I got exposure. But over the course of 11 years, my designs were sold in over 350 stores around the world, including some really reputable brands like Twist, the Sundance Catalog, ABC Home, Fred Siegel, the Clay Pot, American Rag, Bloomingdale's, and most of you probably know that little store, Anthropologie. That was one of my best accounts. My work was also featured in some of the most popular magazines like In Style, Lucky, Real Simple, Redbook, and the list goes on and on. And it was worn by a lot of celebrities. In fact, Halle Berry was just gifted another piece of mine by Revlon within the last few months. Kate Hudson, Orlando Bloom, Michelle Williams, they all wore my designs every day. These are people who actually bought my jewelry. They weren't just given it. So Revlon, Halle Berry bought my jewelry, and then Revlon came and bought a piece for Halle Berry from me, which was really cool. And my designs were worn on the red carpets by tons of celebrities. They were featured in a lot of TV shows, in a lot of movies. And when I was at the peak of my business, I booked nearly $1 million in sales. Unfortunately, when the economy tanked in 2008, my business struggled because while I was really good at winging it and making things happen, and I was really great at selling, I didn't really set my business up the right way from the beginning. And so down the road, as my business started to scale and grow, I started coming across some business growth hurdles. And I didn't really handle the business side of things in the beginning like a true business owner. I don't know if any of you can relate to that. Like, you have a passion, you're frustrated with some of the business side, but I can tell you that I can totally feel your pain, because it's been sort of my lifelong passion to kind of learn how to run better creative businesses, especially when you have this creative mind and a passion. So if any of you can relate to that, just know that you're in the right place, because I learned a lot from that experience, and I'm here to show you how to not do that and how to keep your business growing. For a while, unfortunately, at the end of that experience, I did have to file for bankruptcy. I closed my business down. I tried to run away from jewelry design for a long time, but what ended up happening was that jewelry was really my passion and calling. And my previous clients were coming back saying, "Hey, Tracy, like, we really want your jewelry. Like, can I commission you for an engagement ring? Can I buy some jewelry for my wife from you?" So I decided to come back to my passion for jewelry. I started a different type of business model, completely solely built online, where I was selling direct to consumer. And I was able to ramp that business up in a very short period of time, which was really, really exciting. The difference this time was that I was completely aligned with who my dream customers were, how I was putting myself out as a brand, and sales became really easy because everything that I was doing was making my brand unforgettable and attracting customers without me having to do very much effort. And by setting my business up the right way and learning from my mistakes, I was able to book one of my most profitable months in business up until that time, which was $30,000 in 1 month of profits, which was pretty great. And that was after 18 months of starting a new business. So my business became highly profitable in a very short period of time. To this day, I'm still able to run my business, this business that I have, tracymatthews.com, solely on cash flow. And I carry a waiting list of clients most seasons, especially in the busy jewelry season. And one of the things that I really learned throughout this process, that you can't go it alone, that support is really important. And so in order to sort of get to this place, I enlisted a bunch of mentors to sort of help support me and help get me to that next level. And we're going to hear a little bit more about those people later. In 2012, I decided to found Flourish and Thrive Academy with Robin Kramer. She's the sales expert who grew the dog-eared jewels and gifts brand by 800% in the 5 short years that she was with them. She was one of the sales experts, excuse me, she's not a designer, who really put them on the map as a brand back in 2012 and beyond. So it was in the late 2008 and beyond, which was pretty cool. Anyway, the rest is history, and I can't wait to share all my experience with you and teach you how to create an unforgettable jewelry brand. And that's why this masterclass is so close to my heart, because the truth is that oftentimes, if you're anything like me, jewelry designers and makers learn everything they need to know about making jewelry. But they lack the business sense and gloss over that. So they brush sales and marketing by the side. They brush the most important parts of the business off to the side. And they sort of don't think that that's that important, but that is really the most important part of it. How you're setting up your business, how you're approaching marketing, and how you're communicating and creating conversations with your dream clients. And this is what I'm going to teach you today is how to do that. So this is the exact reason why I was forced to close my business. I love pushing myself to evolve as a designer and maker, but I wasn't very interested in the business side in the beginning, so I ignored it. Basically, it was a total catastrophe. And eventually I did get some help, as I mentioned, by hiring consultants, but at that point, it was too late to save that business. The damage was already done. And I didn't realize this until my entire business failed and I was forced to declare bankruptcy. What a tragedy that I had created in my life, and what a mess I had basically created. It was a really tough time, I'm not going to lie to you, and I don't want anyone to ever have to go through that again. But when I did start over after doing some soul searching, I invested in myself as an entrepreneur. And I realized that getting that support, investing in mentors and coaching and great programs was the key to sort of getting me to that next level. And it was a really expensive and difficult learning curve that took me years to kind of figure out, but I can honestly say that I'm living my dream right now. I get to design jewelry and I don't work that hard at sales and marketing anymore because of how I've set my business up. So lucky you, you get to learn how to do all this. So let's get started. Let's dive in, shall we? Jess, are you ready for this? Because I am. So here's exactly what you are going to discover in this masterclass. The huge branding mistake that you've already made, probably, and how to fix it. You're going to learn the 3 key elements of an unforgettable jewelry brand. And you're also going to learn what to do now to get the right customers engaged with your brand. So basically, I boiled down all the important business practices I picked up over the years into a single holistic business philosophy. And it culminates into what I'll be teaching you today. And it's how to create an unforgettable jewelry brand to become an admired, successful designer with the right clients and exposure. And that's the key. Following this blueprint will create a unique phenomenon. Your dream clients will literally transform into your biggest brand advocates and create a cycle of sharing your jewelry so that making sales becomes easy. Raise your hand if you're in. Give me a heck yes, because I am in. I want this to be easy for you too. So that's, I want to make it so easy that you have a waiting list of clients like I do. All right. So we're going to jump into our first exercise real quick. I want you to take a moment to think about some of your favorite, most unforgettable, iconic jewelry brands. Anything that comes straight to mind right now. What about those brands is iconic to you? What is like one word that comes to mind when you think of those brands? And I'd love for you to just type the 1 word, 2 words, 3 words that come to mind into the questions box, and Jess is going to read those out. Might be words like moments or timeless or luxurious or romantic or love. Jess, are we getting anything in there?
My favorite so far has been beach boho. It's fantastic.
Beach boho, all right. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, classic, quality, original, luxurious, simplistic, unique, healing. Very good. Awesome.
Timeless. I think those are great words. High quality. Love it. Value, maybe. Mm-hmm. All right. So now I want you to think about your brand, because this is the most important thing to think about. What is one thing about your jewelry brand that is unique? So I really want you to share this in the questions box. So when I think of my jewelry brand, the unique thing about it is the personal connection or intuitive design. That's really 2 words, but that's the one thing. That's what makes my design process and my brand really unique. For others, it might be like eco-luxury or socially conscious. So what are some of the things coming in?
We've got a great one. Bold jewelry for the fearless soul from Jessica. That's amazing.
Love it.
Infused with Reiki energy. Keepsakes. Nice. Yeah, some really good ones. Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're getting some things like nature inspired.
A lot of that, yes. Artistic.
Nature inspired, handmade.
Organic. Yep. Handmade and affordable. A lot of that. Yep.
Love it. Love it. All right. So, whoops, I didn't turn that very much. So let's talk. Okay, we're going to dive in. I'm going to tell you, kind of bring this full circle in just a minute. But first, let's talk about the huge branding mistake that you may have already made and how to fix it, because this is important. Whoops. Almost spilled the beans too early. All right. So when I first started selling my jewelry, I thought the reason people bought from me was just because I had great designs or a special technique that they liked, like the stones or the color stories. And the things that I designed with. So I used to always market my jewelry on like, oh, I've had an infusion of color, or like the specific gemstone. Of course, pre-internet days, there were a lot fewer choices than there are now. I don't know if you guys, anyone was selling before the internet was around, but there were a lot fewer choices. So buying decisions were really based on just the way a piece of jewelry looked, or the materials or designs, and not much more. And this kind of boils down to something which we call the USP, or the unique selling proposition. Basically, the unique selling proposition is an advertising term that relates to how brands differentiate their products within a market or niche. And it's often related to quality, materials, pricing, etc. And it can also include proprietary techniques, such as the materials you use, your processes, or whatever. In reality, however, it's actually an insufficient marketing strategy for two reasons. First, with all designers out there, there are probably more than 100 other brands or more that can claim the same USP as you. For instance, it seems like artisan crafted and handmade is a huge USP today. So who here uses handmade or artisan crafted in their selling techniques or their marketing? I just would like to know. And maybe it's in your website or your branding or on your Etsy shop. There's no shame. Just give me a yes or a no. Let me know and comment in the chat, because this is just to bring a point. There's nothing wrong with using handmade. People love handmade. And this benefit is to design, and this is a benefit to design, and actually a reason why people buy. It is a great USP, but it's not enough to set you apart anymore. If you notice, like, how many people are selling handmade. Jess, were we getting a lot of responses to that?
Yes, tons of responses saying that they're handmade.
At least
yes.
100. So if you think about it, there's so many designers out there selling handmade jewelry, and if someone else is looking for something handmade, they won't have a problem finding something, because there's just so much out there that's handmade. This is why, if you really want to stand out to your dream clients, you need to go a little bit deeper. Second, jewelry is an emotional purpose, not a needs-based purchase. Here's a great example of this. So let's say you're looking online for a turquoise bracelet because you want to give one, because your mom gave you one for graduation that you lost while traveling, and you wanted to replace it. So let's say you're looking online for this handmade purchase. You're scrolling through Pinterest. You find something that resembles the one that you lost. You visit a few websites. You start reading about one designer in particular. Her signature collection features a turquoise bracelet that represents that big blue Montana sky turquoise that inspired her leap of faith to leave behind a steady job and go out on her own to create a name for herself as a jewelry designer. You can't believe it. While it might not be the same design as the one you lost, it represents that same feeling you always had while wearing it, like you can do anything. And even though it was more than you planned on spending, you knew that this was the perfect replacement for your mom's gift. Does that resonate with anyone? I'm getting the chills just thinking about that. This is why you must focus on something a lot deeper, called the desired sharing proposition, or the DSP. So the DSP is sort of like a USP 2.0. It incorporates not just the materials and the design, but also the emotional reasons why people buy. And its goal is to really position your jewelry as more desirable than your competitors. We're going to talk a lot about this in detail later, but think about it this way. So we talked about iconic brands, so I'm going to bring up one of the most iconic brands, like a brand like Tiffany. What comes to mind when you think of it? Maybe a little blue box. Maybe it's the Breakfast at Tiffany's movie. Maybe it's the opening scene when Holly Golightly goes to Tiffany's eating that croissant. Maybe it's that swoon-worthy moment when Patrick Dempsey proposes to Reese Witherspoon in Sweet Home Alabama in the middle of Tiffany's and says, just pick one. And there's so many other examples of this. And why do these things come to mind when you think of a store like Tiffany's? Because if you buy from Tiffany's, suddenly you are one of those people. It's your ticket into high society, your promise that he really loves you. It's that emotional hook that they've created. Their brand messaging and their core values all scream exclusive, high-end, and you're one lucky lady. That's their DSP. In fact, I had a client that I was talking to a while back who wanted to spend, she wasn't actually a client, someone I was talking to about a piece of jewelry. I could have delivered almost like an identical, more beautiful tip ring than Tiffany's. based on what she wanted for half the price. And she wanted to spend like double the price on something just because it had that Tiffany stamp. So they have a really strong desired sharing proposition, guys. This is exactly what makes a brand unforgettable. So instead of relying on a simple USP, they create a connection and a conversation directly with their dream clients through their messaging, their designs, and marketing efforts. Listen up, you have the power to do the same thing. Just like my customer, you have the power to create this same sort of message to really connect when you're connecting with the right customers. Your brand can actually become forever entwined with your client's story, which might be a story they're telling for the rest of their lives. These are real clients of mine, Tyler and Kelly. I get so emotional when I look at them. Because you might thinking, because when I worked with Tyler and Kelly, they referred to me over 35 clients. I worked with them about 4 years ago. This is how something becomes ingrained in in someone's brand story. They made an engagement video and gave me a plug in the video. This is something that lives on the internet forever, you guys. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't design expensive jewelry, so I'm not going to be part of someone's engagement or anniversary celebration. But I have to tell you that there are so many other defining moments in people's lives that defining moments don't really look the same to everyone. So think about this. You could be part of their graduation, or maybe a 30th birthday celebration, or even keep them calm and confident on their first date. In fact, some of my best girlfriends, they all had a friendship ring. They all bought the same ring from the same designer and kept like buying over and over again because that was like their thing, right? Your jewelry might be something that was picked up on vacation that takes them back to a certain place in time. I mean, you can even be the reason that someone felt bold enough to ask for a promotion at their job. Jewelry is powerful, you guys. I just want to remind you of that, because it can really be a thing that is a game changer for a lot of people. We're changing people's lives and how they feel about themselves and creating moments that they will cherish forever. And sometimes it's the smallest wins that make those impacts. You guys with me? I want you to give me a heck yes if you're following along. Are you getting this? Jess, are we getting people giving heck yeses?
Yes, lots of heck yeses.
Okay, cool. So remember that scene in the movie Pretty Woman when Julia Roberts steps out of that iconic dress for the first time? Maybe some of you are too young to remember this, but this was such an iconic movie. So if you haven't seen it, you must. She says, "Do I look okay?" And he says, something's missing. And he opens his box in a stunning ruby and diamond necklace. In awe, she reaches out to touch it, and he playfully pops the box shut to catch her fingertips. She leaps back with a big infectious laugh and a stunning smile. This is one of the most lovable, unforgettable moments in movie history. And now, yeah, that's sure, it's a super fancy necklace, but that's not what made that moment iconic or memorable. If you can communicate a combination of all those factors that make your brand and your jewelry unique and different and create a connection with your customers, your jewelry will become so much more than an accessory to an outfit. You guys with me? All right, cool. Because it's going to become part of their story, part of their history, and part of how they identify themselves. It's really important. So you might be wondering how to do this. So it all boils down to the 3 key elements of an unforgettable jewelry brand, which is my favorite part of the training. So now that you know what a DSP is, you need to know how to create one in order to build an unforgettable brand, right? So the desired sharing proposition consists of a lot of different things. It includes your brand story. It includes your brand values. These might be also called core values, the thing that your brand stands for. It includes your brand voice, which is how you communicate to your customers and the people in the outside world. It includes your messaging. It includes your points of distinction. These are the things that make you stand out as a designer. It includes your emotional selling proposition. This is how you connect with your clients on an emotional level. This includes your methods of sharing your work, and it also includes your conversation strategy with your fans and advocates. And this would include things like how you talk to people on social media, how you communicate on your blog, how you message in your email marketing. So all of this might seem like a lot, and there's a lot of different facets to figure out, and that's because it is a lot, but I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. So we've broken down the desired sharing proposition development process, into 3 distinct sections: creating desire, sharing desire, and finally, the desire journey. So let's start with creating desire. Creating desire, building the foundations for desire for your brand. To create desire, you're gonna have to dig deep into every little element of your brand, your jewelry, and even your potential clients. This is the entire groundwork for your desired sharing proposition. Here it is. So this consists of the groundwork for your DSP and creating desire consists of your signature style. So this is your design point of view or what you're known for. It might be also called your design aesthetic. Your unique process. This is the materials, the concepts, your design techniques, anything that's a proprietary process that you use. The identification of your dream clients. These are those people who are chomping at the bit to buy everything that you sell. And if you don't have people like that yet, it's just you're probably selling to the wrong people. These are the people who will eventually become your brand advocates. You also need properly developed collections. Understanding the principles of a cohesive collection development and design process and merchandising on top of that are key in order to increase your sales and really connect with your dream client. You also need the right pricing for your jewelry brand. Jewelry can range from the gamut from $5 for a piece of jewelry to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, if you don't have the right pricing for your brand nailed down, this is going to become a huge problem when you're trying to communicate with your dream clients. Your brand assets. These are everything that you use to either package or promote your brand. It might be the graphics and visuals of your brand, but also the packaging and your line sheets or your catalogs and anything else. And then your brand values and your voice. This is how you're communicating and showing up in the jewelry space and attracting those brand advocates. There is also a place for you to keep tracking your blueprint. So you can, we don't have a ton of time to go in depth about all these things, but I'm going to share with you a little bit more about how you can learn more about this stuff as the masterclass goes on. So we want to drive this point home that it's not just about product or price. You guys got it? You with me? All right. What it's about is it's a holistic approach where every facet of your aesthetic comes together to encourage intense desire for your brand. We can almost guarantee that 90% of jewelry designers will never consider all of these elements together and how they work hand in hand with each other. That means you're about to gain a huge advantage over your competitors in the industry or over others. I don't really like to call them competitors because I don't feel like we have competitors when we can really stand out as a brand. This is the first step to going above and beyond a simple USP. Remember, we've mentioned earlier that the industry is flooded with handmade jewelry designers. Remember that? Well, I wanted to share with you an example of someone who has a handmade jewelry brand who is doing this really well. Her name's Melissa Joy Manning, and she was one of the original handmade and artisan independent designers and has been for years. When she first started out in the 90s, she could use the term handmade solely, and she would stand out because no one was really doing what she was doing. I've known Melissa since she started her business. Now our company messaging is so much more than just handmade. Since its inception, the Melissa Joy Manning collection has been known for its beautifully designed, impeccably crafted, and socially and environmentally responsible ethos. Marrying an elegant modern aesthetic with recycled materials and responsibly sourced stones that are transformed into organically urbaned pieces by the designer and her team or of artisans, and manufactured in a way that is friendly to both the earth and its inhabitants. Melissa Joy Manning is a rare brand that produces a luxury heirloom quality collection using ethical, green certified practices. I would say that goes a little bit beyond handmade. Would you guys agree? Jess, would you agree?
Yeah, totally. She nailed it.
Nailed it. What this looks like to your customers is a consistent feel at every point of interaction with you and your brand. Keep in mind, this is the hardest, most intense section of the entire process, but we promise you your hard work is going to pay off. For instance, if you can have great messaging, you can have great messaging, but if your product or photographs don't live up to the promise of that message, you really don't have a chance of creating a lasting impression with people. A lot of thought goes into unforgettable brands. It takes the look, feel, and sound. It takes a lot to look, feel, and sound consistent is what I'm trying to say. But again, this is what separates the best from the best of the best, right? So this is what's really going to make you stand out in a sea of thousands of designers. Speaking of the best, what do you naturally do when you discover something awesome? You tell everyone, right? Like this is like what me and my girlfriends are like. I'm a little bit older than this, but when in my younger days, this would have been me. Think about it this way. Like, let's say you picked up an amazing eye cream or hand cream and you loved what it was doing for your skin. When you went to brunch with your friends, maybe next weekend, and someone comments on how amazing your skin look, you're gonna be like the first person out there saying, oh my gosh, you have to try this eye cream. It's amazing, right? You guys all do that, right? You share that with your friends or maybe your sisters or whoever it might be. This is just an example of sharing desire. And this is what I'm so excited to share with you right now, because this is how you turn your sales and marketing into intimate conversation with your dream clients. Oh no, I didn't just say the S word, did I? Yes, I did. I did say sales, and I know a lot of people get scared when that word sales comes up. But I'm pretty sure the main reason that most designers are uncomfortable with sales is because they feel like they're being slimy or pushy, and that fear of rejection is a big part of it as well. So what if you approached sales from a different angle by setting an intention of being useful and helpful and actually serving your customers? How would that sound? So instead of giving sales pitches, you'll be having these intimate conversations with your prospects and customers. You'll be serving their needs rather than just trying to collect their money. Your customers will be so impressed and happy with their experience that they'll tell their friends and family just how awesome you are. This is the foundation of the sharing economy. It's the whole foundation of this whole desired sharing proposition. This is sharing in action. So sharing desire is all about being of service to potential and existing customers from the perspective of your DSP or desired sharing proposition. It's allowing the DSP to become the foundation of all your sales, marketing, and PR efforts. First, the sharing economy is really perfect for the jewelry industry because people love to show off their new ring or necklace and brag about it to their network of friends. So think about how important an engagement ring is. And when someone asks, like, I'm always asking my people that I run into, like, who designed your engagement ring? Or like, who made that necklace? I love it. You know, think about it. People are always bragging about their jewelry. Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest are obvious ways for people to easily share how excited they are about what they just bought from you. But also that word of mouth interaction is extremely important. Next, knowing and aligning with your dream client's core values does the work for you. So if you're not sure what I mean, here's one of my favorite examples of the sharing economy and how it works from one of our designers, Irina Victoria, Irazan of Irina Victoria Jewelry. So she made friends with a little, celebrity named Katherine Schwarzenegger. For those of you who are familiar with the governor from California, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's also a movie star, but was our former governor. You might be familiar with him or Tad, but you're probably wondering how she made this connection. It was super, super simple. And it wasn't that she was introduced by some expensive PR person or a mutual friend, and she didn't hire anyone to create this introduction. By researching just a little, she found out that Katherine was a big animal rights advocate. So she gifted Katherine 2 of her necklaces, one specifically from her wildlife charity fund. Katherine loved it, so much so that she completely unprovoked mentioned it in her Ask Kat in Style blog series for her holiday gift guide. The video ended up being posted on InStyle.com. Talk about sharing desire. It's pretty amazing. That one post during the holiday season for Ira brought in almost 50% of her sales and actually 50% of her annual revenue that year. It was such a big hit. So even to this day, Ira has built a great relationship and a friendship with Katherine that is still going really strong. So this is a perfect example for 2 reasons. One, their core values were in alignment, and Ira had a wildlife charity line, and Katherine is an animal rights advocate. Ira did her homework, smart cookie right there. And it came from a place of service. Ira felt that Katherine would be touched and inspired by the jewelry from her wildlife charity line. She put thought into it and personalized her approach to reaching out. So sending random jewelry would not have made that same kind of impact. In fact, I bet that Katherine gets free stuff all the time, but there was a reason why she decided to feature Ira's product. Ira actually did something every single person watching this right now can do again and again. And it will cost her, all that will cost you would be a free sample, is to do some research, find someone who's in alignment with your values, and share your designs with them. Marketing in the sharing economy means creating and sharing content with viral potential. And that's exactly what ended up happening with Catherine and Ira, as you can see. You don't need a million views on your marketing for it to be successful and effective. In fact, I get a lot of clients from Facebook and Instagram because my customers tag me in photos or share photos with their friends. The best part is there are so many ways to get people excited in sharing your brand. Share images of your inspiration, your process, your values, and your culture. If you have a solid foundation for your DSP, chances are really high that every image will strike a chord with your audience. So here are just some things of sharing and, like, you know, infusing my personal story in with this. There's my client Kelly. She referred to me this other client. All these clients actually came through referrals, which is pretty awesome. So the celebrity example might seem a little bit extravagant to you, but I promise you that there are so many little things that you can do to encourage the sharing economy by coming just from a place of service. Even something as simple as suggesting orders for your retail accounts or the next time you're doing a trunk show, or reminding your customers to reorder during the holiday season. That is just being helpful to them instead of being cheesy or sleazy. People just need to be reminded. You know, I have this customer, Liam, who reached out 2 weeks before Christmas, and he asked me why I didn't follow up with him earlier in the season. Quite frankly, I was a little bit too busy, but I could have made like a huge sale. That was a missed opportunity for me. So I don't want you guys to do the same. Your clients want your help. Remember that. Okay, so I want to move into the final part of this so that we can wrap up this masterclass and move into some things you can actually do right now. The desire journey, turning your brand into an emotional experience. So the ultimate goal of your desired sharing propositions is to meet your clients where they are and get them hooked so they follow on your desired journey. The concept is a bit nebulous, so I'm going to use a music analogy to help clear it up. So you probably have a certain musician who you love and you followed their music for a very long time. For me, one of those people is Adele. This is me at the Adele concert in the 13th row in Verona, Italy. It was a pretty awesome experience. I attended this concert last year, but every new album that Adele releases is better and better and better to me. And even though her artistic direction has changed over the years, I fall in love with her music over and over again. Even if it's way different than what you first fall in love with, you've stayed a fan because your favorite musician has probably hooked you on her desire journey just like mine has. So no matter what she tries for next, the music is always going to be amazing. And you can do the same for your brand. We're not saying that you need to do 180 degree in your design aesthetic every season, but what we are saying is that once you establish a moment with your dream clients that's deeply rooted in desire, they will buy into your brand vision and want to be a part of that for a very long time. And then tell everyone else about it too. So the ultimate goal of your desired sharing proposition is to bring your customers along in your desire journey. So no matter how your brand evolves, your advocates will be there supporting you wherever you go. Once you've become unforgettable, your business can shift without losing all your clients because they're invested in you, not just what you make. The good news is after you've successfully created desire and shared desire, you're probably already 80% or 90% towards hooking your customers on your desire journey. So as your brand starts to evolve over the years, people are just going to keep coming with you along the way. So I want you to share a little story about myself here. When I get inquiries for engagement rings, I spend a lot of time learning the details about my client's personality and lifestyle. I interview them to see if it's a really good fit and to see if see how I can over deliver. I explain my process and I tell them a little bit more about what to expect and paint the picture of the journey for them. It usually ends with a statement that starts with something like, if we decide to work together, which adds an interesting psychological twist. So I'm asking them questions to ensure a good fit. I set up the cycle I set it up so I can over deliver for them. And what this ends up happening is that my clients' lives become an important part of the desire journey for my brand. Think of the importance of an engagement ring. Once you've given them a physical representation of something that they will remember forever, like think of how powerful and important an engagement is. You become part of their story. So as long as I've done my job well and made my clients' experience exceptional, my brand is completely intertwined with my couple's love story. And they come back whenever they have a big moment that they want remembered. Sort of like Kelly and Tyler have referred Kyle and a bunch of their other friends. Another client of mine, Pete, just got engaged and are actually married in Hawaii. So my business these days is at least 50% referral based. And even if you're not doing fine jewelry, the same can happen for you. In fact, my one client, Kyle, has referred to me over 6 clients this year for engagement rings, which has been pretty powerful. So these 3 key elements are the 3 key elements of creating an unforgettable jewelry brand: creating desire, sharing desire, and the desire journey. And now it's time to turn all that theory and strategy into action results. So I want to share with you a few things that you can do now to get people talking about your unforgettable jewelry brand. So I want you to walk away with this masterclass with something actionable that you can do right now to start building an unforgettable brand. So as we're going through these things, I want you to write down one thing that you're going to take action on. So I want you to start creating your marketing and sales content for your brand that takes you and your prospects and your dream clients and brand advocates on their desire journey. So I want to share with you a quick example of this really quickly. Melissa Camilleri Anasich of Compliment Inc. is one of our students and a community leader over at Flourish and Thrive Academy. And she has a really amazing Instagram following. In fact, she has over 36,000 followers, I think, to this day. Her dream clients are teachers from all over the world. Melissa is a former teacher, and she has done a lot with by creating a strong DSP, using her mantra, "We rise by lifting others," which also is a hashtag that's trademarked by her. As a busy teacher who's devoted to supporting educational causes, she needed, teachers often need simple gifts. She was sourcing the hashtag Teacher Follow Teachers on Instagram when she stumbled upon one of Melissa's adorably packaged necklaces. So imagine, like, her dream client is a teacher. She's searching online for something adorable. She finds this hashtag Teachers Follow Teachers and comes across this brand. And when she followed the hashtag, this hypothetical teacher, this is actually a real story that happened, she found one of Melissa's Instagram posts. And it was almost like she couldn't not buy. Everything about the Compliment brand resonated with her values and her passion. Plus, Melissa donates a portion of her proceeds to a scholarship fund to send underprivileged high school girls to college. So it's a perfect fit for her dream client of a teacher to buy something from a former teacher who's raising money to send kids to college. Does that make sense? The teacher immediately bought the necklace and then told all of her teacher friends about what Melissa was doing. One hashtag led to many sales and a stream of brand advocates sharing everything she designs. Your challenge is to create 3 pieces of micro content so that you can start weaving together your desire journey. That's what I want you to kind of walk away with today. So I want you to think about all the things that we spoke about in this creating desire section, especially the identification of your dream clients, your branded visual aspects, and your brand story founded in your DSP. So then I want you to set some simple or mini goals to measure your progress. Commit to 2 or 3 pieces of micro content and start talking to your dream clients right away and taking them on your brand journey, on your desire journey. So take some notes here because I'm going to give you some actions that you can do right now. Here's a couple things that you could do right now. You can share some behind the scenes photos or videos on your Instagram account and only cross promote it from other platforms. You can use 3 to 4 new hashtags on Instagram from entrepreneurs or designers that you admire. You can share a photograph of your first piece of jewelry or the inspiration behind it. Share the now and then comparison to show your brand evolution. You can write a Why I Design manifesto and share it on your Instagram or Facebook. You can describe a day in the life of your dream client. I love this one, that's super fun. You can describe the types of people you love to work with a photo of someone wearing your jewelry. You could shoot a Facebook Live video. We do this challenge all the time in one of our communities, in our Diamond Insiders communities, and share it on your Facebook page. You can share the story of your first sale of jewelry and why it was exciting for you. You can write a mini artist statement to share on your blog or social media. You can find 5 Instagram influencers who fit your dream client description and send them a direct message and start a conversation with them. The direct message is just to connect, it's not to pitch, but that's how you start the relationship. You can feature a short client case study of a happy customer or a brand girl. You can create a contest or a challenge for your current clients to share their style. The winner gets a free piece of jewelry. How fun is that? And then the ideas are endless. So I really encourage you to enter your ideas right here. All right, Capiche, you got this? All right, so I want to take a second for you to jot down one thing that you're going to take action in on this masterclass, or maybe even up to 3 pieces of micro content, but at least once. And I know that I've covered a lot in this masterclass, but I want you to start to remember that getting your DSP, your desired sharing proposition, into action is a lot easier than you think. So what if that one action item helped you attract 3 new customers or endorsements by an influencer, or a customer that referred you to all their friends? What would that one new customer be worth to you? I want to know, what would it be worth to you? You can answer in the comments below. Because think about it. I gained 1 new customer, that customer Kelly. They referred over 35 people to me in the last 5 years. That's crazy. Through the stream of people that they referred and how that expansion has continued to grow. So think about what the result of just doing one of these things, getting 1 new customer, and that trickle effect of how that sort of how that intertwines together. So I want you to take a moment to consider why you showed up here today. I also want you to think about what you want to create in your business, because imagine being here next year at the same time and place, and you're showing up to a masterclass with me, and the masterclass is like the next step, and I'm like, hey guys, I want to hear where you are. What would that be? Where would you be? Would it be that you've grown your business by 20% in sales? Is it that you quit your day job maybe? Maybe it's that your business took off so much that you were able to finally quit that soul-sucking day job and follow your passion. Maybe it's that you felt really comfortable with sales, and you were easily turning compliments into sales and customers into your biggest sales rep and media channel. Maybe it's that you start effortlessly attracting and leveraging the right types of exposure so sales keep rolling in. Maybe it's that you start increasing your profitability so the amount of work that you're doing is paying off big time. And you're setting up your business the right way so that all that effort you're putting in is actually paying off. And what if it could be that you've completely discovered your brand voice, and that result was that consistent sales rolled in from your website and your Etsy shop, and you woke up every morning to 7 orders in your inbox? Would that be awesome, guys? I really want to know. So whatever your dream is, I just want to share with you that I'm here to help. And I want you to know that it's possible, because right now is your time. And as you can see, creating a really strong desired sharing proposition can get you there. My vision for you is for you to show up at this time next year realizing some of your goals. And I want to remind you that you've got this. You've got this, guys. Trust me. So you might be thinking to yourself, now that I know what to do, how do I do it? Well, the truth is that you've got 3 options, basically. You can do nothing, and you can stay stuck and be in the same place next year. That would kind of be silly, in my opinion. But some people will probably do that who are on this masterclass. You can go at it alone and waste a lot of time figuring it out, and then feel frustrated because your business isn't where you want it to be next year, which, that would also suck too, because frustration sucks, and we all want growth in our life and in our business. Or you can allow us to support you with a proven step-by-step process to create desire and demand for your brand in just 8 weeks or less. Now, it doesn't matter where you learn it. I just want to remind you of this, whether it's from us or somewhere else. But either way, creating that desired journey is key to building an unforgettable and profitable jewelry brand. And I want to remind you of this. We are ready if you're ready. So I want to ask you, are you ready to skip the learning curve? If the answer is yes, I want to hear it. Give me some yeses in the question box. All right, cool. Jess, if we're getting some yeses, I would love to know who's giving us a yes.
Yeah, we've got lots of yeses coming in from Susie, Nadine, awesome. From Kristen, Lawrence, Janita, lots of yeses.
Okay, cool. So I know you guys probably have a lot of questions about all the content that I've taught today. I'd like you to start queuing those up. But before I take questions, I want to share with you a little bit more about my proven system. Is that cool? It's called Laying the Foundation. I am really so proud of this, program. It's amazing. It's our signature virtual program designed to teach you how to create desire and demand for an unforgettable jewelry brand with the right clients and exposure in just 8 weeks or less. You'll build your dream business that supports your desired lifestyle, because we all have something different that we want to create in our lives, and it's going to allow you to unleash your creativity to yield cash, clarity, and freedom in your life. Sounds pretty good, right? Well, before we dive into the details of the program, I want to share with you the story of Jules and Anna, or actually Anna first. So Anna has a really incredible story. She got breast cancer and bought a house at the same time. I think she bought the house and then realized that she had breast cancer. And she was forced, because of that, to not do most of her shows. And most of her business is focused on doing in-person shows. So she had taken laying the foundation. She put what she learned into action. She really focused on it. And she ended up rocking her website that year. And she started converting, getting sales every day. So instead of 3 sales a day, 3 sales a month, she was getting 3 sales a day. And instead of those sales being $60 to $100, they were $300 to $600. I would say that that's a pretty awesome success story. And she was able to continue growing her business and keep her sales up at the same level while she was recovering from surgery, which is pretty awesome. I also want to share with you the story of Jules. So Jules is a designer in our community who's taken laying the foundation, and with the confidence that she learned from taking the course, she had landed one of her dream accounts, got an appointment with them. They ended up doing a trunk show and writing an order, and the sell-through was so high because of what they learned about developing cohesive collections that they placed a reorder right away and nearly tripled their original order. So I don't know about you, this is like sort of what I'm talking about. Like, what is the power of getting one new client? If you really nail it, like, see how this can like start to, what's the word I'm looking for? Amplify and just like magnify and grow. So in the program, you're going to get 4 training modules. You're going to get 4 training modules, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about those modules. And one of the things that I notice about the people who go through this program is the ones that take action, like Anna and Jules, get a ton of results. And I love action takers. They identified what was missing in their brand and allowed us to give them the support to fill in their gaps. And I just want to remind you that, like, everyone's coming from a different place. Like, some people have their collections nailed, but other people have other stuff that they need to work on. So we kind of walk through we walk through everything. So in module 1, we talk a little bit more about building and growing your brand desire. We're going to walk you through each aspect of developing a strong brand identity to create demand and desire for your brand. You'll clarify exactly who your dream clients are so you can stop wasting time chasing the wrong customers and take yourself one step closer to developing brand advocates for life. You'll also identify your desired sharing proposition, which will be the foundation for holistic long-term growth towards your ultimate vision. In module 2, we're going to be talking about creating desirable collections that sell for your right price. You're going to learn to create a collection that fits perfectly into your dream client's hopes, desires, and expectations. You'll merchandise cohesive collections, implement the right pricing formulas, and create desirable branded assets. Discover the sweet spot between what you most enjoy creating and what your clients most want to buy. In module 3, we're going to be teaching you the sharing economy. This is one of my favorite modules. Building momentum and effortless sales. This week, we're going to talk about everybody's least favorite topic, sales, but we're going to show you how to approach sales from a place of service by teaching you the fundamentals of the sharing economy. At the end of this module, you're going to feel totally comfortable and confident about sharing your jewelry in a way that attracts brand advocates, increases your sales, and moves your business towards your financial goals. In module 4, we're going to be talking about promoting desire, which is all about efficient PR and marketing. And in this week, we're busting the myth and the misconceptions that you need an expensive PR agency or marketing team to get exposure. Armed with a fully developed desire sharing proposition, you'll be able to get the press and exposure your brand deserves with barely any budget. Soon, your dream audience and brand advocates will be doing all the PR for you, which is awesome. So here's what you get in each module. You're going to get the complete laying the foundation system, which includes videos, audios, slides, transcripts, and worksheets. You're going to get 20+ training cheat sheets and checklists. You're going to get done for you sales and marketing scripts, which is awesome. We also give you video clips notes so you can grab them later if you want to refer back. And all this is 100% online learning and mobile friendly. So you can do it on your phone, on your iPad, wherever. Here's what you're going to create after laying the foundation. You're going to transform your passion for design into a successful and desirable brand. Turn your customers into raving fans, as well as your best sales reps and media channels. Uncover your brand voice and the confidence to shout it from the mountaintop. And effortlessly leverage PR and marketing to put a spotlight on your jewelry. You're also going to create a burning desire and buzz for your jewelry brand. Drastically increase your sales and profits by discovering how to set your business up the right way, and create the life that you've always dreamed of while doing what you love. Awesome, right? So of course, I can't do anything without stacking and giving away a ton of stuff for free. I love doing this. So we're also going to give you a ton of bonuses that are going to support you in your marketing and sales effort, including how to build a beautiful jewelry e-store without laying a brick with Andrea Ayers, how to attract Instagram followers that actually buy with Melissa Camilleri. We're going to teach you how to batch content in a lot of ways with Melissa Casera. We're going to show you how to grow a profitable Facebook group with Lauren Zablanov. We're going to teach you how to grow your email list, and this is a specific training for jewelry designers. And we're also going to throw in a training for Etsy shop optimization with Melissa Kaiserman. Anyway, this is an awesome place to start. These bonuses are valued at over $5,000, and you get them for just enrolling, which is pretty amazing. And we're also want to reward you for attending this masterclass live. So if you register before the end of the masterclass, we're going to give you $100 off. I'm going to get into the investment in a moment. It's a super valuable investment. All you have to do is enter the code LTF100 at checkout. Head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/foundation. All right, so in addition to this, if you sign up while on the masterclass, in addition to getting the $100 off, we're also going to throw in 2 other bonuses, which will be our line sheet template checklist. It's also a catalog template, and our advanced pricing bundle, which is awesome. It's pricing formulas. You get audio, 5 different pricing formulas for your jewelry. That's valued at $600, which is pretty awesome. So laying the foundation is an amazing value. The value of the program is $9,000. The value of the bonuses are over $5,000. The masterclass bonuses that we're throwing in for free are $6,000 worth of value. And the industry insights and wisdom are actually priceless, which is amazing. Total value over $14,600. Your investment, much less. So I'm going to get to that just a second. So if you want to check this out, one of the best bonuses that we have is our lifetime value. So we want to give you access to the course content and materials. So once you buy into this, anytime we upgrade it or elevate the content, you get access to it no matter when you bought the program. So as you can already see how this investment over $14,000 is over $14,000. You might be wondering what the investment actually is, but don't stress because I'm going to totally hook you up. The investment is nominal compared to the results that you're going to experience. So I want to remind you of that. Your investment is only $795, which is awesome. And that's if you join us for the payment plan. So we've broken this down into a really simple payment plan of 5 payments of $159 a month each, or you can save an extra $100 and pay in full for $695. So you can head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/foundation. And you'll want to enter the discount code LTF100 at checkout, and you'll get an extra $100 off as long as you do that while we're on the masterclass. So I always like to break this down into tangibles. Think to yourself, what do I need to sell to make this investment in myself? It might be just a few extra pieces of jewelry. So for many of you, it might be as little as 5 necklaces. Like, could you sell an extra 5 necklaces if you hustled? Or even just cutting back on going out to dinner or buying Starbucks every day for the next couple of months. So I want you to think about outside the box. If this seems like a big investment in your business to you, like how much disposable income do you spend on things that you don't really need when you could be spending money on something like this that would really help you move the needle and grow your business? And also I wanted to remind you, like, what if you invested in this and you got 1 customer and you made your investment back right away? What would it be worth to you at that point? So if What if you could pick up 15 extra customers just by the end of this year? How would that feel to you? I'm curious because, or even within the next month, because it is possible, and we've seen a lot of designers do this. That's what LTF is designed to do. It's designed to help get you quick results and help you sustain your impact for long-term growth. You can go check out the entire course over at flourishthriveacademy.com/foundation. Make sure that you open up your browser right now and type in this URL. It's going to take you to a page that will show you everything you need to know about the course. And also, because we stand by what we teach, we offer a money-back guarantee. So all you got to do is just take the course. You will have 2 weeks to test it out, 3 weeks, excuse me, to test it out. You'll get the first 2 modules. Do your homework. If for some reason you don't think the course is a good fit for you, turn your homework in. Tell us you don't think it's a good fit, and we'll give you your money back. It's completely risk-free. We've had hundreds of success stories from designers and makers just like you who ended up making their investment back in the short term and build long-term growth in their businesses. They became masters at sales, and a lot of them were able to quit their sucky day jobs. Is that something that you want to do? I hope so. So we've had tons of success stories, and here are just a few more. Jennifer Lawler said that laying the foundation saved her years of time trying to figure this out on her own. We already shared some of the success from Melissa Camilleri. She was really struggling. She now makes over 5 figures a month, over 36,000 Instagram followers. She has over 8,000 paying customers, which is kind of crazy. Probably about 10,000 by now. Allison from Prasada Jewelry she was terrified of sales before she took this course, and now she's getting buyers who will buy on the first try, which is crazy. And before, she would never even get a call back from wholesale accounts or her direct-to-consumer buyers, which is crazy. And we supported Jeannie in the launch of her first e-commerce site and the launch of her first jewelry collection. And it was an insanely profound experience for her, as she liked to say. And it really helped her grow her business and take it to the next level. So I'm going to answer questions in just a moment, but I just want to know, are you ready to never worry about having enough exposure and sales to stay in business? Are you ready to feel extremely comfortable and confident promoting your brand and selling your jewelry from a place of service? Are you ready to create a connection with your dream superfans and turn one-time buyers into lifelong brand advocates? Well, I hope so, because I want to support you in that. So I hope you'll join us for laying the foundation. Remember, the regular investment is $795 with the payment plan, or if you pay in full, $695. And on this masterclass, we're giving you the special savings of $100. All you need to do is enter the discount code LTF100 at checkout. It will automatically be taken off your payment. If you join the payment plan, your monthly payments will be $139 with this discount, as long as you join while we're on live. So, all right. I would love to answer some questions. I know that I would love to answer any questions that are coming in. If you have any questions at all for this, you can email us over at support@flourishthriveacademy.com. Enter the discount code LTF100 as you check out if you're heading over to the Laying the Foundation page. All right, should we start answering some questions, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got tons of them coming in.
All right. I also want to remind you that if you sign up now, this is the only time you can get that $100 off. And also, if you sign up during the masterclass, you get the advanced pricing blueprint, the line sheet catalog, and the line sheet catalog templates. Super awesome. All right, let's do this. Jess, do you have a question for me?
Absolutely. All right, so Isabel wants to know, she says, I'd really like to enroll for the course, but I don't know if it's suitable for someone who hasn't actually started yet, but who's serious about launching a jewelry brand. Is it right for me?
Oh, this is a great question. So this course is really great for people who haven't started a business and people who have already started a business for 2 reasons. Primarily, if you haven't started a business, what this is going to do is show you exactly what you need to do to set it up the right way from the beginning. So if you haven't developed a collection before, if you haven't researched your packaging, if you haven't really identified who your dream clients are, all that stuff is going to be completely laid out and give you a strategy and a plan so that you can take this step by step and get to the next level, which is really awesome for people who are just starting out. I think it's amazing. There's a lot, and it's something that you'll be able to reference over and over again, which I think is really awesome. If you've already started a business, let's say you've been in business even for a couple years and you aren't getting the kind of sales or exposure that you want, then this is a great course for you to take, or program for you to take, because it might show you what is missing in your strategy. And so a lot of times we think, oh, well, I have a collection, or I have packaging, or I have an about page, or I have a website, but you don't understand like what's missing, because we completely highlight that for you. And one thing that I do know is it's really hard. We're blindsided a lot of times by our gaps, and we don't know really what's missing in our gaps. And it's hard to see it if we don't have outside feedback. In fact, I surround myself with people who highlight my gaps all the time, so that I can grow better businesses and become a better business owner. And, you know, I think that there are two types of designers out there, quite frankly. The ones who are afraid to invest in themselves because they're thinking small and about, you know, the immediate maybe investment in something that, instead of thinking long-term and big about how this could actually potentially help you grow your business and get you to the next level. And the ones who think big, like that second scenario that I talked about, are always the ones who end up growing their business exponentially really fast. And in fact, we've had numerous designers, and I mean, I could take screenshot and screenshot and screenshot from designers who sent us like comments on our Facebook page or in our group saying like, you know, I made the investment back within the first month because I did X, Y, and Z strategy. And it's like basically like insert scenario, because it's been so many different things. But that is like something, Jess, would you agree, that's been commonplace?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, cool.
One more.
Jess, I think do we have a special guest here?
Oh, yeah, actually we do. We have Nicole Gariepi with us. Let me see if I can actually get her on here. Nicole, are you there?
Okay, while you're getting Nicole on, maybe I'll just take the next questions.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Okay, so we have a great question and I am going to apologize because I will probably pronounce your name wrong, from Ola Subami, who wants to know how long will the LTF modules take to complete?
That is a great question. So the course is designed to work with your schedule. So everything's pre-recorded. You could spend as little, you could take your time and spend as little as 1 hour a week on it, or you can really go and, you know, spread it out over a couple of months. I don't totally recommend doing that, but you can do it because it's completely self-paced. Or you can, you know, really go for it and, you know, spend like, you know, an hour a day focusing on it, or 30 minutes a day focusing on it every single week until you get through the modules. I would say on average, if you really go for it, each module takes about 5 to 8 hours to go through, but it's really designed to be a reference tool. So it's not going to be something where you just go through it once and hit it. Like, you're going to go through, do the work, put it into your business, and then you might come back to it at another time, refine the process, and continue to grow and evolve. We've completely designed the content that way. It's meant to be used not only as a teaching tool, but a reference tool for you to use in your business on a daily basis.
Yeah.
All right.
That's great. I think we have Nicole with us if you want to say hi.
Okay. Awesome.
Hey guys, hi Tracy and Jess.
Wait, sorry, go ahead, Jess.
Oh, I'm just saying hi, it's Nicole here.
Oh, hey, Nicole. So Nicole is amazing. Welcome, Nicole. We're so happy to have you here. Nicole is a graduate of the Laying the Foundation program. And when did you first take Laying the Foundation, Nicole?
I took Laying the Foundation in the beginning of 2016. And it was such a great time for me because I had just decided to leave my day job to go full-time in my jewelry business.
Awesome. So amazing. So Nicole totally rocked it. 2016, was a really active member in the program. And a year later, she was doing so well in her business that we ended up hiring her as a coach in our membership community, the Diamond Insiders. Nicole, do you want to share a little bit about your experience and how Laying the Foundation helped you?
Oh, absolutely. So I've been in the jewelry business. This year it's 20 years. So I'm kind of a jewelry business lifer. I always knew I wanted to be in the jewelry business. I had my own store for a while, and I've spent time managing other people's jewelry businesses. I was a buyer for a large store at one point. So I was kind of converting into, this new sort of platform and going more online. And I figured I could learn a lot of new things, but being in the jewelry business for as long as I had no idea how much I could learn from this course. I mean, laying the foundation taught me so much about, time management and organization, setting goals. I was able to really create a powerful website that is converting very well for me. But the biggest takeaway was really focusing on my dream client. And once that clicked for me, it just made such a difference, and everything just started to flow.
That's so awesome. And what started to flow and why?
Well, when we talk about dream client, I was guilty, which a lot of jewelry designers are, I think, of trying to sell to everybody. I thought, let me design my collection so that everybody is going to find something they want. But when I focused in on the people I really wanted to be wearing my jewelry and thought about what makes them tick and, what kind of things they're going to respond to, and I focused on all of that, I just saw so many results right away, and everything just became so much easier.
I love it. I love it. And what do you think was like the short-term what were some of the short-term kind of results that you got, and what's been sort of the long-term impact in the program?
Well, short-term, I think about long-term goals so much more. Yeah. But I mean, short-term, I was able to create a jewelry business, or, really grow my business quickly to where after I took the leap leaving my 9-to-5, I didn't have to get additional income. I was able to support myself pretty much right off the bat.
That's amazing.
I was lucky that I had a lot of clients from previous businesses that followed me into my new venture. So yeah, that was really huge. But long term, that in 2016, I doubled my holiday sales that year, which was huge. Wow. Even after having, kind of a rough holiday season with some major ups and downs and speed bumps in my journey. Wow. And then this year, 2017, I've had steady growth across the board, about 30% every single month. So that's been, it's amazing.
That is awesome. That is crazy. That's amazing. Wow. Nicole, thank you so much for sharing this. Can you hang out for a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just answering some questions just for a little bit?
Sure.
You can let us know when you have to go. Okay, cool. Awesome. Jess, do we have more questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first I want to say this is amazing. We have a whole bunch of people signing up. So I want to say welcome to Sarah, Mary, Nora, and Adriana. That's awesome. So excited for you guys.
Amazing. So excited.
Cool. Okay, so our next question comes from Sue. And Sue says, I make all one-of-a-kind jewelry. Will this course work for me? It's not just for people who mass produce.
Can you repeat the question, Jess?
Sue says she makes all one-of-a-kind jewelry. Will this course work for me?
Absolutely. Okay. I wanted you to repeat it because I think this is like a question that we get asked a lot. And I design one-of-a-kind jewelry, and I developed this course not specifically for one-of-a-kind designers, but in a way that helps both one-of-a-kind designers and people who design collections as well. And here's the thing. When you can really create a unique design aesthetic, it doesn't matter if you're selling one-of-a-kind or you're creating these cohesive collections. What matters is that you're able to speak to your customers in the right way and attract those customers. So the principles that we teach in this course are tried and true, that sort of cross the board of general branding and how to create an unforgettable jewelry brand, whether you are designing collections, designing items, or designing one-of-a-kind pieces. Nicole, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I do a little bit of both. So I have collections that are repeatable and mass produced. I have pieces that I have cast, but then I really love to do one-of-a-kind pieces. So that's I also have a one-of-a-kind collection where, so I have a little bit of both, and I'm selling more of my one-of-a-kind pieces now than I ever have.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks for sharing that. All right, Jess, what's the next question?
All right, so Elaine says, I see a lot of gold and silver jewelry, but my jewelry is beaded, also wood, leather, that kind of stuff. Is it possible to find an audience for natural chic?
I say absolutely. I think there's an audience for everyone. And in fact, I would go as far to say as long as you are, connecting with those people and creating those conversations by, creating desire, sharing desire, building desire, all these foundation or the desire journey, all these foundations of your desired sharing proposition, you can sell any kind of jewelry. We have a designer in our community, Nancy Morelli, who sells like bug jewelry. They're made out of bug shells. And she makes a killing at these bug conferences. And she just attended a conference, I think, and sold like $5,000 worth of bug jewelry, which is so crazy. So the answer is yes, but the key is to be able to find where your audience is and people are buying. So the principles of collection development and connecting with your dream client, it doesn't matter what type of jewelry you design. In fact, my first collection was all beaded jewelry. It wasn't gold jewelry. I didn't start designing gold jewelry until about 15 years into my career. So it runs the gamut of any type of jewelry, as long as it's you're trying to sell it and reach your dream client, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. That was a great question. Okay, so Karen has a question about laying the foundation. She says she lives in the UK. Is this just for the US market, or will it work for me too?
In my opinion, this course is developed based on tried and true branding principles and sales and merchandising principles that are timeless and can be used anywhere in the world. It's not something that is developed just for the United States. We get this question a lot, and so I'm always like, okay, well, how do you really answer that? Because we're not talking about like specific tax principles in this course. This is a branding and sales course that is designed to teach you how to build a brand, and those principles run the gamut no matter where in the world you live. If you're a human being buying a product, in my opinion, the stuff that we teach in this course will really resonate and help you connect with those dream clients. Jess, what would you say about that? Because I know you've taken the course as well.
Well, I think the one key thing is that, branding is really universal. If you can connect with clients on a deep and meaningful level, you can connect with clients anywhere. It does not matter whether you're in the UK or if you're in Asia or if you are in South America. Like it's a very universal language. Even if you look at like bigger brands like Coke and Pepsi and stuff like that, they're global, So I think this course is amazing for generating is a very bad word, for creating a very loyal following, because you really get to dive super, super deep into who you are as a jewelry designer and who you're speaking to in your dream client. And I think those are two really, really important things.
And sales principles, sales are sales. Figuring out how to do sales in the sharing economy is like that. It's like the wave of, what's going on right now in the world. And I hate to say that, but it is. It's like, while the influencers or the way, like the people you're reaching out to might be different types of people, like these are fundamental principles of creating a cycle of referral clients, getting people to share your work, and getting people inspired to help you build your brand by just being awesome at what you do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's perfect segue for our next question. So Ya wants to know, how do you identify your dream client?
That's a great question. There's so much involved in this. So we have an entire training focused on how to find your dream client, basically, how to identify your dream client. And it starts with a variety of things. So dream client work, you need to get clear on, you know, where they're shopping, what their likes are, what their personal style is, what kind of job they have, what their life situation. So it kind of dials into like the demographics, you know, where they live, how old they are, what their family situation is, all that stuff. And then it kind of cycles down into the psychographics, like what's their situation, what motivates them to buy, you know, what's important to them, what's their sense of style, how do they identify themselves, you know, where do they shop, those kinds of things. And then it starts to cycle into things that go a little bit deeper, like the things that motivate them to buy, maybe things that actually they're fearful of, or things that kind of get at the core of why they might have objections to purchasing your jewelry. And so what we do is we sort of like, the way the process works, it's like a brainstorm of information. You get a lot of information together, and then you start dialing it down into one specific avatar. And what ends up happening is you're able to address like all the things that someone might have as an objection to actually purchasing your product. So if I think about it this way, my dream client is a combination of me, one of my best friends who's also a customer of mine, and one of my best customers. And I love using this example because the people that I like to work with are people who really don't want something that anyone else has. I design commissioned custom jewelry. So they're all one-of-a-kind pieces. I only make them once. No one else can get exactly the same thing. It's not repeatable jewelry. So that creates a really special experience for someone. So my client's biggest fear is that if they were to show up a party wearing the same dress or the same necklace as someone, they would be mortified and like want to take it off or leave. And that actually comes from me, because I'm that kind of person. I am really someone who prides myself on my sense of style. I have since I was younger. I can't always say that I have the best sense of style these days. I get a little casual sometimes, but you know, when I was younger, I was really into fashion. I always wanted to buy independent designers. I would buy for my friends at trade shows to help promote their brands, but I'd always want the things that no one else had, because there was nothing worse to me than showing up in the same dress that one of my sisters was wearing or someone else. In fact, one of my sisters bought the same dress that I bought for my graduation from college, and I told her, I'm like, you cannot wear it, like it's my graduation. So for me, that's like, and I was like really upset. And in fact, like anytime I'm wearing something and a friend of mine says, where did you get it? I'm always hesitant to tell them, because I don't want them to go out and buy the same thing, because I don't want them to be the same as me. So I know that that is like something that really is a key motivator for someone who wants to buy my jewelry. Now, for someone who buys your jewelry, especially if you're selling online or somewhere else, you know, they might be afraid of buying from an independent designer that doesn't have like a guarantee. Like if the product breaks, what happens? Or what if they get the piece and it's chintzy or not made well, and they're spending money on taking a risk, spending money on someone that they, you know, don't know, and it's you know, their investment kind of goes to waste and they can't get a hold of them. So there's a lot of different things that you can think about when that might be fears that people have in relation to buying your jewelry. Maybe a fear might be, is this stuff really real? Like, you know, and the reason why you want to know this is, number one, it helps you understand what motivates people to buy your brand in particular. So what motivates people to buy my brand in particular might be different than what motivates someone to buy your brand, right? But it also is a way for you to be able to talk to them about what might be their objections moving forward. So, and what I mean by this, by objections, is that, like, you know, someone might have a value objection, like they're not sure if you're going to have the quality, or they might have a return policy objection, like maybe they want to buy something to see if it works with an outfit, but if they can't return it, then they might not want to buy from you. So these are all things that the more you understand it, the more you can talk about it. And the deeper you can get psychologically, the better. So like for me, like I know that like my dream clients have a fear of sending me their family heirlooms, because what if something happens and one of those stones break? Or what if something happens, I'm gonna knock on wood right now because I don't want that to happen. And like I'm a shyster, and I end up like, you know, running off with their gemstones. So like everything that I do on my website is to try to build trust with my clients. Everything I do in the sales process is about building trust. And so your clients might have a different thing, but you need to understand what's going on in their head. And it's a little bit of a long process, and it takes a little, I'm sure that Nicole and Jess can both identify with this. It's a little bit of a long process, and it takes a lot of work. But at the end of the day, like once you really get it nailed, you'll see that people just start coming to you out of the woodwork, and you're like, where did that come from? And it really does work. Did I answer that fully?
Yeah, absolutely. That was an awesome answer.
Okay, cool. So I also want to remind you guys that we're going to be on the Q&A for about just a little bit longer. I want to remind you that while you're here, if you want to grab this discount, you can head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/foundation. Enter the discount code LTF100 when you're checking out to get the $100 off. If you sign up while we're on the masterclass, you will also get those extra bonuses. You'll get the line sheet templates, and you'll get our advanced pricing bundle, which is pretty amazing. All right, Jess, next question.
All right, so Lila wants to know, she says she has a really hard time figuring out what kind of jewelry to make. Her designs are really all over the place. Is laying the foundation going to help me with that?
Absolutely. So laying the foundation is the second module, is all about collection development and merchandising. I love the sales module, but actually this one's my favorite module because when I was first starting out in business and selling, I got hooked up to this key account called Metier in San Francisco. And a friend referred me, and I got really lucky to get an appointment because I don't see everyone. And this was back in the day when you can only sell wholesale. She had a meeting with me, and she was like, okay, I love your collection. I'm going to buy these pieces, but can I give you a piece of advice? And I said, sure. And she's like, here are some pointers in developing better collections. And so at that moment, I became a student of collection development and how to create collections that actually merchandise well. Because in the beginning, I would have like 3 pieces designed in this one color pearl, or 3 pieces designed that were all colorful, but there wasn't really enough to showcase. And I sort of teach you everything that I know about designing and merchandising, everything that I know about how to create a cohesive collection, from, gateway pieces to upsell items to statement pieces, and how to actually combine that formula in the right way so that it actually works. The number of pieces that you actually include in a collection, how to price those collections, and how to actually merchandise and sell it, and how to actually merchandise it so that you can sell it, I should say. But it's a really great module. It's one of my favorites, and it's really, really helpful. I've heard great things from most of the designers about that module too.
Yeah, that is awesome. So Etta has a question about when the classes are. She says, as laying the foundation sounds just like what I need right now, do I have to show up at a certain time? How are the classes held?
The classes are all virtual. It's completely self-paced, and you can take the classes on your own time. So whenever you have time to work on them, you can take a class. So it's totally up to you when you work on it. And if you have time in the evenings, if you have a little time in the morning, work on it then. You can schedule time in your calendar every single day at the same time. Whatever works for you. We realize you guys are busy. We also realize that we work with people who are all over the world, and oftentimes you might have a 30 minutes here or there to work on it. I love to consume courses and information while I'm at the gym. I'm an avid learner. I invest in courses all the time. I practice what I preached, and we create this course to help you guys with designers, but I'm always learning things that I need to do to fill my gaps. And so I'm always investing. Like, one of my favorite times to learn is when I'm walking around the city, or like on the elliptical machine at the gym. So there's lots of different ways we make this really easy so that it fits into your lifestyle. We've had a lot of designers who love it that it's mobile friendly, because they can listen to the modules while they're taking their kids to school, which is awesome. We've really set this up to make it easy for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've taken the course, and it's really set up to be very, very user friendly and time sensitive friendly. So it's nice. All right. Awesome. So our next question is from Lawrence, and Lawrence wants to know, up to what price point do people buy jewelry online?
I think that varies. I think the price points pretty much could go upwards of whatever, but it depends on your strategy. So I think it's easy price points to sell online are up to about $500. Once you get over that, you need to think strategically about your sales funnel and process. My jewelry starts at over $1,000, and I get the majority of my cold referrals online. And I say cold, meaning like people who find me on the internet and they don't know who I am. I do have a strong referral base of like customers who've already worked with me, and they send their friends as well. But I get a lot of inquiries on my website with people who just do a Google search looking for a New York City-based engagement ring designer or custom jewelry designer or commissioned jewelry designer. And the way that I sell with a really high price point is a couple of ways. Number one, I use video on my website so that I can build trust, and so that they can get a taste of what it's like to work with me. And they can also put a face with the brand so that it makes it less intimidating for them to either fill out my form or get to that next step. I also have a really easy way for people to get on the phone with me. So as soon as someone fills out my custom inquiry form, the first thing I do is schedule a phone call with them. If they're, depending on what they do, I might ask them a few questions first if they haven't told me their budget. But as long as I know that they're in the budget range, I get them on the phone. And I'm able to sell a ton on the phone. And I know that that's scary for a lot of you, but it's really easy. It's just about educating people about your process, educating people about what works, and sort of walking them through the next steps and getting them excited about your jewelry brand. So, and listening to them, actually. It has a lot to do with listening. And the more you can learn about who your customer is, number one, you can use that information to start like nailing down your dream client, but also it's an awesome opportunity for you to listen to what their needs and wants are so that you can address those concerns live on the phone with them. All right. Jess, do you think I fully answered that question?
Yeah, I thought that was great. You know, I mean, it's a difficult question because, you know, people buy cars online. So, you know, people will buy just about anything online. So, but you did a very good job explaining how that works. So Tammy wants to know if you can run through the payment plan again for LTF. She's not quite sure how it works.
Absolutely. So for those of you who sign up while we're live on the masterclass, we're going to be taking questions for just a little bit longer. You get an extra $100 off. So the course is $795 if you take the payment plan. But if you, so that works out to be $159 a month. But if you're signing up now while we're live on the masterclass, you get that $100 off. It works out to be $139 a month, and you'll get one payment today, and then you'll be billed 30 days for the next 5 payment cycles. So it's a total of 5 payments, and it works out to be 30 days payment cycles. So you get charged once today, and then in 30 days, and then in another 30 days, and so on and so forth, up to 5 until the 5 payment cycles are over. And if you decide to pay in full, you will be able to buy the course or invest in the course at $595 using this discount code if you sign up now while we're live on the webinar.
Awesome. All right. So Shayna wants to know if the dream client is going to be covered in laying the foundation because she's having some trouble with it.
Absolutely. It's in the first module. We go into it extensively. So that's like part of the foundation of laying your brand foundation is identifying your dream client. So absolutely, yes.
Yeah, that it's a really great portion of laying the foundation. You really get to kind of dive deep on the dream client. So if that's what you're after, laying the foundation has got it. All right, and we have a couple more people to welcome. We'd like to welcome Dana, Sarah, Nicole, and Helen. So welcome to Laying the Foundation.
Awesome.
I'm super excited for you.
Welcome, you guys.
Yeah.
I love those action takers. I can't wait to see your results. It's going to be amazing.
So cool.
Awesome.
All right. So we have another question from Vivian, and she says, is this course only for people who want to sell to stores? I have no interest in that at all, and I want to build a jewelry business online only.
absolutely not. Excuse me, I got the hiccups because I just took a sip of water. This will help you if you sell the stores, but it will also help you if you don't sell the stores. We have a whole marketing module, and a lot of that is based on, a lot of the marketing modules focused on e-commerce strategies, setting up a website, building a brand outside of doing wholesale. We realize that people have a different vision of what success looks like for them. And while wholesale is a very viable model, it's a great business model, it's not for everyone. In fact, I used to wholesale for years. I don't wholesale at all anymore. I have no interest in wholesaling because for me, I didn't want to be working the trade show circuit anymore. I didn't want to be calling on stores. I didn't want to be dealing with some of the selling your jewelry to stores can be a huge benefit because you get volume orders. But there's also other things that come along with it. And I'd done it for so many years, it wasn't something I was interested in moving forward with anymore. But there are lots of designers who do wholesale and who have taken the course and who are enrolling in the course. And that's totally cool. This will totally help you with that. But if you just want to sell online or sell in person, everything that we teach you in this course is relatable to all those different things. So this is solid branding strategy, it's collection development and merchandising strategy. All these things are really helpful to help you grow your business. Sales are sales. It doesn't matter if you're selling to directly to a person or if you're selling to a store. Selling is the same. It's the same thing. It's about customer service, building a relationship, and creating that cycle of sharing with your clients and moving on. And same thing with marketing.
Yeah, that was great. And we have a couple more people we'd like to welcome to Laying the Foundation.
Awesome.
Yeah, so welcome to Diana, Catherine, Miranda, Vicky, Dahlia, and Genevieve. So welcome, you guys. I can't wait to hear how you're loving the course.
Amazing, amazing.
All right, so Bobby has a question. She asks, while starting a jewelry business, while starting a jewelry business, does Laying the Foundation teach us how to automate our business virtually? That way we have more time to work on designing our jewelry.
Yes, it does. We have a lot of time management trainings and we call it the simple steps, over at Flourish and Thrive Academy to teach you how to maximize your time so that you can spend time doing the things that you love. I'm not going to lie. It's not going to be like set it up and go and you're going to spend all your days designing jewelry and sales are just going to be magically coming in like magic. Like there is setup and you do have to actually continue to sell your work over time. But what we do is we teach you how to be more efficient and how to maximize your time so that you're focused on the right priorities so that you can get things done in a quicker fashion and so that you can continue to move your business forward so that you can focus on what you love doing. And for most of us, that's designing and making jewelry, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a great explanation. What Laying the Foundation really does is get you to dive really deep and get super, super focused. And when you're very focused, it's like everything else just sort of starts rolling and getting in its place and makes everything so much easier. So all the things that you're struggling with now that you haven't really clearly defined are going to be clearly defined. And that makes selling easier. It makes making email lists easier. It makes marketing easier. Just makes everything, kind of fits like a nice little puzzle.
Nice little puzzle.
Yeah.
And I just want you to think about it this way too. Like, we've heard over and over again stories of designers who have taken this, and there's, like I mentioned this before, like the people who are really successful take what they've learned not only from us, but they are the kind of people who invest in their business, who believe that investing helps them grow their business. And they're the types of people who always end up getting the sales. I mean, I loved hearing the story of Nicole earlier in the Q&A and how she quit her job and immediately was able to replace her income after Laying the Foundation. She did have some existing customers, but she wasn't quite there yet. She learned how to really build a business, create a website that converts, and her business is doing really, really well. And there are people who we've seen, who come, and Jess might know what I'm talking about, who keep coming back around our community. They come to all of our free stuff, but they never buy anything, and they're always complaining because they don't have any money and their sales aren't increasing and they're not growing. And the one thing that I have noticed, and the difference between those two types of people, is that the one who are committed and invest end up making their money back like right away. Jess, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% wholeheartedly agree with that statement. We do have quite a few people that just kind of do the free stuff and definitely get frustrated that their business isn't moving forward. So,
and they're always, they're always broke, and their excuse is always like, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. But like, I think if they just like reframed the way that they were thinking about it, like, how could you possibly make the investment? Is it, by making a few extra sales, or by cutting back on something that you already do, or by, helping a friend out, and like, putting the word out there that you could, pick up a little bit of, like a side job or something to make that investment. I know that sounds like so silly, but if you really want this, like, that's the thing that's crazy. It's like, if you really want this, you'll find a way to make an investment like this, whether it's with us or someone else, to help grow your business. But I think for some people, like, they like to torture themselves, and the pain has to get too great before they do it. But if you've, tried to do it on your own and nothing's moving forward and it's not working, then, I'd reconsider what you're doing, because it probably means that what you're doing isn't working and something's got to change. And if you can continue to stay stagnant and don't evolve and change, I've met a lot of designers in my life, and I've met a lot of designers who've been very successful at certain points, and their luck has changed and their business has started to flounder. And I've met designers who were not very successful in the beginning, whose businesses continue to grow to this day, even through rough economies, even through other things. And the other difference between those types of people are the ones, like, whether or not they've been successful before, the ones that refuse to change and evolve and grow will always struggle. And they're always going to be in that state of like frustration and never moving forward, because business is always evolving, you guys. Like, yes, these branding practices that we teach you are tried and true. So they're going to be things that are going to be sticking around for a while. But we're always updating this program. And once you buy in, as I mentioned, there's lifetime access. So you'll have access to any updates that we ever do, any changes that we make to the program, any upgrades. Once you buy in, you get it. The home study version as you're on this masterclass. But what I've noticed, is like, I've had designers, they complain and whine because like their old way of doing business like 10 years ago isn't working today. And I just think to myself, I'm like smacking my head, like literally, like you can visual. I'm like, duh, like your business isn't working because you're not evolving and changing. And if you keep, it's like you've heard that quote before. It's attributed to Einstein, but other people have been attributed to it too. It's like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So if you want something different, you've got to do something different, and you've got to change. And if you're not willing to make that change, the only person that you have to blame for your business floundering or something not working is yourself. And obviously we have life. I hate to sound that harsh, but it's in most cases the truth. If we're unwilling to change, if we're unwilling to step up to the challenge, if we're unwilling to take that next step, like the only person that we can blame is really ourselves.
Yeah, that was great. I think, it's hard for a lot of designers to change. Plus, we all have that the shiny syndrome where we'd rather buy a new stone.
Yeah, right, Jess? Yeah. Like, we have so many people, like, they're like, oh, I just bought this new rolling mill for $1,000, and they're like, I can't invest in that right now. It's like, you find a way to buy the things that you care about. And, if what you care about is if you really care about growing your business and making money with your passion, like, this is the mind shift. Because I used to do this too. I'm going to tell a quick story. You will find the money to buy the things that you want to buy, right? So if it's like a mind shift. Like, when I was first starting out, I had boxes and boxes of jewelry. I have designers in our community who continue to buy the newest tool or like a new gemstone or whatever, but they won't invest in themselves. And then they cry and complain because stuff's not changing. Well, I closed my business 7 years ago. I bought certain gems, like in the first year of business. I started my business in 1998, you guys, that I still had last year when I donated a huge box of beads. to one of the designers in our community who was holding a fundraiser. And I laugh about that because like my mindset shift has been so dramatic over the last 15 years, because when I started out, I didn't value that stuff. In fact, I sat on my workbench for 6 months before I even made my first sale. And it wasn't, I was married at the time, and it wasn't until my husband finally said, you have to go back and get a real job. And I'm saying real, using air quotes, but my business was a real job, but I wasn't treating it like a business. I was treating it like a hobby, unless you start making some money. So like he lit a fire under my bootay, and I went out and made some sales like within the next week. But I was spending my money on the wrong things instead of investing in, you know, consultants and education, things that would actually help me grow, and networking with people and learning. I was investing in beads, and I still have them. I never use them, you guys. They're in a box, thousands of dollars worth of beads that I just gave away to charity because they were collecting dust in my storage unit. So I know that a lot of people do the same thing because we have this bright, shiny object syndrome. But if you really want to have it's okay if you want to have a hobby and just like collect dust on beads and never really make money with your talent. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't, be clear. If you want to have a business, it's something different. Right, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've gone through the same thing myself. I have had drawers full of beads and stones that have just been sitting around. So I completely understand.
For those of you who don't know, Jess is a jewelry designer as well. So
so I can relate, but I think when you make that when you make that mindset shift, it really changes your perspective on what you can do with your business. Because the thing is that, you know, a new rolling mill is not going to get you any sales, and neither are new stones or new beads or, you know, that stash of silver that's sitting in the corner. But what is going to get you new sales is learning how to do the business side of your business. And the cool thing about that is that once you do get that up and running and actually, you know, becoming profitable, then you can buy all the beads you want.
Yeah. You'll be making a lot more money.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we have a couple more questions.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up in just about a few minutes. So I just want to remind you, if you want to grab that discount, make sure you head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/foundation. Enter the discount code LTF100. You'll get the over $14,000 worth of value in the program and the bonuses that come with the program, plus our fast action bonuses for joining us on the class here today. So don't delay. If you're interested in joining, now is the time, because smart cookies save money when they can. Smart cookies are early adopters. They jump in when opportunity strikes, and they know that by putting this stuff into action, they're going to get results. All right, Jess, let's dive in.
Okay, so Olga has a question, and she says, I want to keep making my own jewelry. Is that possible with laying the foundation? Like, it's not all about outsourcing, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, I'm happy to teach you day in and day out about outsourcing, but that's not what laying the foundation is about. It's about being more productive. It's about pulling together your branding. It's about developing strong collections, and it's about sales and marketing. We will give you a formula of time spent on how much time you should be doing all those things. In my opinion, most of your time in your business should be focused on sales and marketing, because that's how you bring revenue in. And ultimately, once you get a system down for that sales and marketing strategy, you might be able to get support and outsource some of that stuff and continue to make more jewelry. And I know many successful designers today who have big brands that, you know, are well-known names who still make and design a lot of their own, or make their own jewelry. They even make some of the production, who have followed these principles and philosophies. So this isn't a course about outsourcing. I'm not against outsourcing. I have a team of jewelers who make most of my jewelry, because I prefer to focus my time on other things. But we have a lot of designers in our community who are excellent jewelers, who actually consider themselves jewelers, makers, and jewelry designers who continue to make and design their jewelry on a daily basis. And I still consider myself a designer. I just have other people who actually do the making, but that's neither here nor there. This course is about building a successful brand, laying the foundation for a successful jewelry brand so that you can focus on the things that you love the most in business.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. I think LTF really helps you focus so that you can concentrate and make the decisions as to what you want to do in your business, whether that's you want to make the jewelry or you don't want to make the jewelry and you just want to design. Whatever you want, it can help you get there. All right, so we have another question from Michelle, and she says, I have not started a website yet. Should I take the course now?
You definitely can. What it will help you with is you'll know exactly what to have on your website, which I think is really, really helpful. And this is sort of like a similar question to people who haven't started a business. It's not the same question, but it's very similar. Because someone asked earlier, I haven't started my business yet. Can I do this? And the answer is yes. And my belief is that when you know how to lay everything out before you do it, you save a lot of money and a lot of time trying to figure it out. So when I first learned a lot of principles about how to market myself online, how to set up my website effectively, how to set up a website for conversions, I had already reset up a website. I'd spent about $2,000 hiring a web developer. He developed it on a janky, I'm saying janky for lack of a better term, platform that I wasn't able to update, and I really regretted it. 6 months later, I took a course from one of my mentors and learned how to set my website up the right way. And we teach you the principles based on what we know about jewelry brands, on how to get not only traffic to your site, but to get that traffic to convert by developing a website and having the fundamentals of a really strong website presence. So if you haven't set up your website yet, this is a really great time to jump in. And in fact, I think like a lot of designers, Jess, I don't know what you think, almost the majority, not the majority, but a lot of designers who haven't set up their own website, like maybe they have an Etsy shop or something, but they want to set their own website up, have gone through laying the foundation and ended up setting up really successful websites through platforms like Shopify and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people have come out of laying the foundation with a very clear idea of what they want their website and their branding to look like.
Awesome. Cool. Any more questions? Can we answer like any more good questions we can get to just in the next couple minutes?
Well, I think we may possibly have another guest if I can get them on. Elizabeth Dwelly is here with us. All right, give me a minute and see if I can get that set up. In the meantime, we do have another question from April. She says, I'm having a lot of trouble with pricing. Is laying the foundation going to be able to help me with that? I don't even know if my jewelry is too expensive or too cheap.
Amazing. Yes. And if you sign up right now, you're going to get our advanced pricing bundle in addition, which goes through 5 pricing formulas. So we have a whole pricing module. There's our whole 2 pricing videos in our pricing module that are really detailed and walk you through different things to consider when pricing your jewelry. And I think a lot of people face this. Most people actually are underpricing their work. There are some people who are actually overpricing it too. And our pricing formula and the pricing trainings really help you get clarity on what you need to be pricing your jewelry at to make profits based on where you are in business and what your objectives and goals are. So, and also your business model, which I think is really important. So it's a great training for that and really amazing for walking you through the pricing formula.
Yeah, that was great. All right, Elizabeth, are you here with us? Oh no, can't hear her.
Oh no.
Ah, bummer. All right, hold on one second. Let me see if I can keep troubleshooting this. All right, so we have another question coming in, and it's from Min, and she says, is dream client part of laying the foundation?
We have a dream client exercise as part of laying the foundation. So yes, it's incorporated in the course, but we also have a dream client course, which is a separate course from this. The dream client workbook is very similar in both of the trainings, but we have, since there's a lot of trainings in laying the foundation, it's dialed down and written in a different way so that it gets you straight to the nuts and bolts in laying the foundation. But yes, there is a extensive dream client training. We help you identify it. We give you a lot of tools to really hash it out. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, I think we're going to try with Elizabeth one more time. I think maybe we've got her now. Elizabeth, are you here?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay.
Awesome.
How's the audio? Is that good?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I have so much to say and I only just joined.
Awesome. So Elizabeth, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience with laying the foundation? Thanks for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Just listening to this, the questions, and as you know, I joined a little late, but I relate to so much of the question, like so many of the questions. And the great thing is you get the answers when you take laying the foundation. And I was thinking about it. I can't remember when I took laying the foundation. It was several years ago. And my business has changed so many times. And it's been such a great resource that I always have and use every year when it comes around. And that's the thing, I think you can't see into the future to know that, hey, everything changes. Your market changes, your business changes, your life changes, and you'll always have it there so that you can start over and use it every time. I use it every year. So that's such a great thing about it. And when you are an early adopter, you get all those cool bonuses. So
Yeah.
I just highly recommend that. And I really mean it because it helps you to save some money and to get those bonuses. They're all really valuable. And I, you know me, I'm a big believer in being an early adopter.
You are.
Because, yeah, you get like the best price, you get great bonuses. It's like, I just believe in it. And I really mean that. So I love it.
So what were some of the things that changed? So Elizabeth has a really niche jewelry brand. She focuses on competition bodybuilder, the competition bodybuilder market, which is super niche, which I think is amazing. What were some of the things that became really clear to you after taking laying the foundation?
Well, my collection. And that's the thing too, that again, some people they just work really fast, but I'm just a little slower at getting everything, you know, all the way done. But the collection development was a huge deal. The biggest thing was the dream client. That is the beginning of everything, is understanding exactly who is buying your jewelry so that you can market to them. Everything starts there. That just was huge. It was huge. Everything changed once I really nailed down the dream client work. Like I got in there and really did that work. And here's the thing, you've got to do that dream client work again. You don't just do it one time. And so that's what I think is so great about having lifetime access. Because as things change, you can go back through it. I love that. And the other thing was the collection development. That collection review is amazing. I mean, if you were to pay a consultant for the collection review, I just don't even know how much that would be to have someone go through your collection like that. It's super cool.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
No, it's one of my favorite things. And I guess because back to bodybuilding, my husband is a coach, so he coaches people that do shows, right? And he has a lot of clients that are really successful in other areas of their lives, like they own successful businesses and all of that. Guess what I learned? They all have coaches. And this was something that I came to the table with when I first found Flourish and Thrive, was that I knew that people who were successful and had these businesses, they had a team behind them. They had coaches and mentors that helped them through everything. That was really eye-opening. Like maybe some people are figuring it out on their own, but I think the majority of people have mentor groups and they have coaches. So I'm just a big believer in it. It's changed my life. And I'm so happy about doing all of it, you know?
You're awesome. Elizabeth has she is an amazing example of someone who kind of started before she really, I don't know if I'm overspeaking here, but
you're right.
Before you really knew what you were doing with your brand, and I've seen you grow over the years to turn into like a designer who's really like focused in on her niche. You're starting to attract all these influencers, and you're really like, I just can't wait for you to take off. And, you know, we talked privately a couple of days ago, but about something completely different. But, you know, when we were talking, I thought it was really fun because you were sharing like how things have changed and sort of how, like, what some of your dreams and visions are for the future. And it's just so fun to hold the space for you in that, and also like witness your growth. So
thank you. And that's one thing. When I joined, like when I hear all these questions, I still have these questions come up. And I guess that's why I think like it's a no-brainer. Join our community. Like, let's do it. Because I'm just super into it right now. But like, that's something, when I arrived, I didn't even know if people would buy my product. I didn't know if it was, I didn't know how to price it. I didn't know anything. So it's funny that, yes, when I arrived, I didn't even know if I had a viable product, to the conversation that we had a couple of days ago. What a difference. Like, that's gigantic.
Wow.
It's a huge shift. It is a huge shift. And I'm so fired up. I guess that's why I'm so passionate about it. I could talk about it all day.
you could. We love you for that. But you know, it's also like the thing that's really exciting about Elizabeth's story is that like she's not like a unicorn. Like we've had so many, I mean, she's amazing. Like she's totally like has her own like specific niche. What I mean by that is that there's a lot of designers who like were hesitant in the beginning. They weren't sure if this was right. You know, she also mentioned like her husband's a coach. She's like, she can get coaching anytime. But it's so different when it's people from like an industry that's so specific like this. Like you're in the jewelry industry, like we've seen so many designers just kind of like evolve and rise up and have these great experiences going through the program. So
I definitely was one of those. I definitely was one of those that was, gosh, is this even like a good idea? Should I even be here? So that's why I guess I want to encourage people to say, no, go for it. If you have this idea, just don't waste time and believe in yourself and invest in yourself and just let's go for it.
Yeah, go for it. All right, you guys. Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you guys go for it.
I do too. And I was trying to look, because I made a little list while I was hearing the questions. I just want to look and make sure that I hit on everything for everyone that had the questions, where I just was thinking about how it related. But actually use what I learned, and I help my husband with his business, which is totally different. So it's pretty funny.
That's amazing.
No, it's so valuable. It is so valuable. It really is.
And we do have a couple of awesome action takers here who have signed up. So I'd like to welcome Dana, Julie, Maria, and Min.
Awesome. Welcome, you guys. We'd love to have you.
Yay.
We're excited to have you, I should say. We love having you. Well, so many action takers. I'm excited for the action takers. We are going to wrap up now, and I just want to thank you all for joining us and staying on for the duration of this Q&A, because if you're hearing this part, you are, you know, you got some longevity. So you have just a few more seconds before we wrap this up. If you're interested in joining, head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/foundation. Enter the discount code LTF100. It will still work for a few more minutes. Get the bonuses, get the extra $100 off. If you have any questions at all, Quay is in support of flourishthriveacademy.com, and she will help you. And more than anything, for those of you who did sign up, I'm really excited that you're making this investment in yourself, because your business is going to change tremendously. And I'm excited to be able to witness your growth and to see you change. And I'm also excited to be able to share like my life's work with you, because this stuff has been stuff that I've been figuring out for the last 25 years. And I'm just thrilled that I'm able to present this in this package program like this, in this way for such an affordable price point. You know, when I was really struggling in my business, I invested $1,500 a month in a consultant to help me get through some of the struggles that I was facing. And some of them were things that we teach in this course. And I had that consultant for over a year and a half to 2 years around. And, you know, if I think about the tens of thousands of dollars I spent on, you know, one-on-one consulting, you know, I really knew that we could create something that sort of encompassed, you know, what I learned in that time and what I mentor with my private clients now who spend, you know, tens of thousands of dollars a year with me to work one-on-one with me, into something that's concise, that can be, you know, focused on when you have time, and that is really affordable in relation to getting, you know, investing in something like a consultant. So I'm just thrilled that you guys are joining me, and I hope that more of you will eventually join. And if it's not for you right now, no big deal. Please stay a part of the Flourish and Thrive community. We are honored to serve you. And as I mentioned earlier, like, this stuff is really important. I really encourage you to try and learn it in any way, shape, or form you can. If you're someone who, you know, enjoys trying to find, you know, information and pull your hair out and all that stuff, that's great. You know, there are a lot of people out there who find satisfaction in it. But for those of you who really like having stuff handed to you and shortcuts, if you're anything like me, because I'm one of those people, then this course is going to be one of the best investments that you've ever made. So I'm very excited to support you. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, I think that's it. Jess, is there anything else that we want to wrap up with? Elizabeth, thank you for being here.
Yeah, she just hopped off, but she said she was super excited.
I'm still here.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm still here, yeah.
Thank you so much.
I was just laughing because I was thinking about the other thing too, that like I couldn't sell. I was not selling really anything. And that was another piece that really changed. So I just remembered that.
Yeah.
Now you're selling a lot. I remember you telling a story of something that happened last year where you just like met an influencer for coffee and ended up selling $2,000 like at the coffee shop or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's true. Cause I don't know. I didn't realize how much selling I was like, that's not my thing. I'm not a close. I don't know if you've seen that movie Inside Out, but I was like, you know, I can't close them. I just can't close them, whatever. And so, after
You're
it was during,
now,
I'm closing them now. Now I'm like, I'm the closer. I'm the specialist.
I love it.
So it's just been a huge shift. I love it. And I can't wait to get to know the new people that have joined.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Jess, any final words while we wrap up?
I just want to say thanks to everybody for taking the time to stick with us to the very end, for those of you that are still here. And I really do hope that you know, take advantage of this, because it is a really, really special course that Tracy and Robin have created here for everyone in the jewelry design community. You're not going to find anything like it from other companies, because it is specifically made for jewelry. Because I know we do have some people that, you know, have taken some courses that are for people that are sort of like crafters or Etsy people, sort of like general stuff. But this is super, super, super personalized to the jewelry industry. And it's a total game changer.
It's very in-depth too. It's not like this broad, overarching, general course. Like, we go into the nuts and bolts.
Yes, very, very much so. But welcome everybody who has joined, and we're super excited to have you in our community. And I guess, Tracy, I'll throw it back to you for closing remarks.
Thanks everyone for being here. Join us for laying the foundation. Head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/foundation. And I'm just so honored to be here to be your teacher and to be able to present this information, because it's been a game changer for me, and I'm beyond thrilled that you guys trust me enough to like let me come into your homes and teach you how to create an unforgettable jewelry brand. And I'm really looking forward to watching you all flourish and thrive. I have to end it like that because I'm cheesy, but
love it.
All right, everyone, have an awesome day.